Today's workshop is on how to build up your SMS audience, aka your text subscriber list. Now, before I go into the agenda with the 4 or 5 things that you're going to take away by the time we finish this workshop, I wanted to say that today's workshop is actually a rerun of yesterday's live workshop where we had about 19 people attend, and they were from different industries, including private equity, janitorial, other home service businesses like even Stanley Steamer was there. We had coaches, consultants, event organizers. And what was beautiful about yesterday's live event was they were sharing ideas that they were coming up with throughout the workshop. So it was super interactive, but they were also sharing ideas that they were actively implementing over the past months and years. And it makes me sad because we had a technical issue on the recording. So here I am the next day going to attempt my best to replicate the magic that was yesterday. So this is another reason for you to attend the live workshops where anything can happen. Someone in a whole different industry can share a piece of, nugget or a piece of advice or a finding that they ran into through their experiments, which will help you get the most out of text messaging with anything on our platform and best takes, even if you don't use our platform. The biggest reason why we're doing this workshop is to bring education to businesses that otherwise would have to invest up front and then stumble on their own to figure out what works. This workshop almost kind of like brings a community together that is willing to share best practices and what's working for them. So we're committed as a company to host these workshops twice a month. They're probably going to be on Wednesdays. And this one was supposed to be on the 27th, so yesterday. So 2 weeks from now, we'll have another workshop. So regardless of where you're seeing this at, make sure you put in the comments topics that you want to see. Next 2 weeks from now, the topic will more than likely be around automation and how we leverage workflows in a platform like Chatavise to automate a lot of the communication and what can be accomplished with that. So there's tons of topics in our space. I'm excited to keep this series going for as long as possible. And I'm loving the energy that came from the first one, which was on August 13th. The second one was even bigger. So this third one, I'm super excited for it. So without any further delay, let's get into the material and make sure that if you're watching this on any of our social media channels, that you subscribe or follow, like it, share a comment on there. Those things will help us grow. And the more we grow, the better features and things we're able to bring to the platform. So let's get started. And the agenda for today is the psychology behind text marketing opt-ins. Also, how to grow your SMS subscriber list actively and passively. So I'm going to share strategies for both. A little teaser. We have things like this, wristbands. Let me see if it focuses. Like this here. And those allow you to build up your list whenever you have someone in front of you. Imagine having a stack of business cards like this and having to put into your CRM system. You'll no longer have to do that. But while doing the networking and having them tap on the wristband or scan the QR code, you're able to build up that subscriber list while segmenting your audience according to whatever makes sense for your business, aka using the tags feature. So the third one, how to segment your subscribers for maximum engagement and conversion. What strategies should you do to organize that list to get the most bang for your buck with text campaigns and automations? The fourth one is how to convert new subscribers into loyal customers. So these are the 4 topics that you're going to leave today knowing and having an action plan around. Before we get into that, I want to share some stats. And again, I know you can't ask me questions live today, or at least not in this recording. But these stats I wanted to share with it because it got people even more invested in caring enough about the topic for their business to produce an ROI. Now, here's some stats. I'm going to pick a few that are some of my favorites. One, the very first one, the SMS marketing industry is expected to expand by another $12.6 billion. Can't miss out on that. Marketers are already allocating $327.1 billion towards marketing on the SMS channel. Now, SMS has 78% of buyers checking, sending, and responding to text messages is their primary utilization of their phone. I was surprised by that because I would think it would be social media, but sometimes when you're in that social media space, you only see or think that everyone's doing social media on their phone. I think that would also be the same for people that are in the email marketing space, right? You might think that everyone's living in their email inbox trying to get through the thousands of unread messages that accumulate in what seems in a blink of an eye, right? So in those very crowded channels that are still important for any business, SMS seems to be the one that gets overlooked by at least whatever 100 minus 39 is, because 39% of businesses, as you can see here, are currently using SMS. That means that whole other big number, which, you know what, I'm going to just do the math here. This is horrible because I'm usually good at math. I guess live, some of those capabilities go away. So 61% of businesses, that means 61% of people are not using SMS right now. Is that you? If that's you, then I want you to pull out a pen, have a notepad out, take some notes, and let's brainstorm together. And again, my team and myself, we're always available to be able to help you achieve your goals when it comes to SMS. Another stat that was very eyebrow raising, it was for every dollar that you put into marketing in the SMS channel, businesses can get, and I know here it says 71, it's really $21 to $71 for every dollar you put in. Now, I know why we left out the 21. It must have been my graphic designer, the one that Ira, who designed this beautiful presentation. She was like, no, tell them the best number, right? But it's 21 to 71, and that's across all industries. Every dollar getting that much ROI, that has to raise some eyebrows. That has to give you some sort of motivation to have attention into the SMS marketing channel. The real question is how to apply it in your type of business may not always be as obvious as we would like it to be. Now, the next one that I'll share is that studies show that a coupon received via SMS is redeemed 10 times more than any other medium. 33% of SMS recipients react to call to actions or CTAs in SMS marketing messages, and 47% of those 33% end up making a purchase. Those numbers is phenomenal for any channel, to be honest, with open rates of like 1 to 2% in email or SMS, depending which one you're looking at or how great you are in those spaces. With texting, you cut through the noise even for that brief moment, and assuming that that client wanted to, or that contact wanted to receive that message from you, it's a very high likelihood that they take action on it. Now, I got these stats from G2. So I was trying to look for a place that didn't have some kind of bias around these stats. And G2 is a review site for a lot of tech companies and software companies. So they are not married to the channel of SMS versus email versus direct mail versus billboards, right? They don't really care about what channel it's coming from or what type of application you're in. This is their independent research here and bringing these numbers to the forefront. I left the URL there if you want to go in depth because it was a pretty good sized article that had tons of other stats in here. We kind of just picked the ones that I felt like I wanted to highlight. Before we get into SMS, you may not know what Chat Advise is. So, in one sentence, we are a marketing and automation platform heavily geared towards the SMS channel. That means we don't focus on emails. We have the ability to make phone calls, but we aren't a Ring Central. We aren't an Extevia. We aren't these applications that may be better suited for people that have a lot of call volumes coming in. Now, what we do and are able to do is when someone calls your Chattervise business marketing number, we would call forward that to wherever you want us to. So again, we focus mainly on the SMS channel. When you have that level of focus, you get a lot better experience in the SMS, even with a company as small and as mighty as ours. I'm gonna say one last thing. We have clients that literally send 1,000 to 2,000 text messages in a given month. But on the high end, we have clients that send upwards of 619,000 text messages each and every month. For the most, I would imagine most people that are watching this webinar, you would fit somewhere in between that range. So no matter what your volume is, Chattervise is able to handle that. All right, now let's get into the fun stuff. So the psychology of opting in. I want to break this up into two pieces. I want to look at it from the business owner or that business's perspective. It could be a director at a non-for-profit, it could be an executive at a larger company, or even an entrepreneur that's operating by themselves. So from the business perspective, we're going to look at the psychology of opt-ins. And then also from the people that are subscribing to receive text from you. We're going to look at what their psychology is and why they would opt in and what they're expecting to get whenever they opt in. All right, so from the business perspective, there's four lenses that I would want us to look at this from. Direct and immediate communication. Whenever we are thinking of building up this text subscriber list, why would we choose the SMS channel? It's because we identified opportunities in our business where direct and immediate communication is paramount and is priority, where versus an email or social media, we understand people are going to see it over the next, several weeks, even potentially. LinkedIn, I've been seeing some posts that are 2, 3, 4 months old sometimes. Now that can be for several reasons, such as maybe LinkedIn is starving for content, right? I'm new in the content media game, but I've been absolutely learning like crazy and producing videos. So if you do go out there, you see our videos, please put out there a comment, say hi, I know you, I saw you at the webinar, or give us a like or anything like that. But yes, direct and immediate communication. If you see in your business that I want the ability to reach people at scale without having to worry about the logarithm, or not having to worry about ending up in their promotions tab or the spam tab, texting, while it has a little bit of spam filters, it's nothing compared to email. Now, the higher engagement and conversion rates. It's no fun sending 5,000 emails and seeing conversion rates that makes you feel like I should have just called them, right? With texting, it's not like that. You know they're going to see your message. You really only have to be concerned with the verbiage that's being used in that text message. Sometimes, and for the most part, you want the message to be short. But depending your type of business, it can be a little longer, especially if you already have more of an intimate relationship with them. An example is I've met roughly 787 people over the last year and 8 months, and most of those people came in from tapping the wristband, scanning the wallpaper that's on my phone that looks like this here. So they scan that there, or me presenting on a stage or in a workshop type setting. And when I have my PowerPoint, I have them scan the QR code or text the number 11 or whatever keyword I choose to do. And it is opting those people in while sending them the information that I was promising for them to receive. So higher engagement conversion rates is a reason potentially for your business to invest in this channel. Relationship and loyalty building. It takes a lot more value for consumers to want to give you their business number, right? So, from the business side of things, we want to make sure that we have our clients and contacts segmented appropriately so that we send them the right type of message. So, this channel is very intimate compared to email and social media. It takes a lot more. I say every tech subscriber is probably worth between 20 and 100 followers depending the platform. On TikTok, every follower is literally probably worth 100 text message followers, right? On YouTube, it's probably closer to 20 if you're accumulating those followers through long content like podcasts and things like that. Ownership of a valuable marketing asset. In this pillar here, I want us to look at building up the SMS audience list as an investment for your business. You're building up an asset that you can tap into when the opportunity presents itself. What that might look like for a business that takes advantage of Black Friday or holiday deals is the bigger their list is, and the more organized it is, the better campaigns they're going to be able to send out right when customers are wanting to spend more money. Now, let's say for a non-for-profit, you may have a drive that you want to raise donations for, you want to get volunteers for, or you want to access resources from the community that's attended your past events, attended your past online webinars, or any classes that you've taken that you've put out there for the community, whether it's business type classes, family planning type classes, anything like that. If you're able to grab the names, phone numbers of people, and you're able to send them out a text message, and you're that company that can do that, and there's another non-for-profit that can't, which one is more valuable? Which one? Company A that has 20,000 text messages, textable numbers on their database, or the one that literally just has to build momentum each and every time they want to accomplish something? So I see this as a necessary channel to build up. And if you do it with the right mindset, meaning build up this asset, you will actually build up a more valuable business and attract people that want to do more creative things and help you accomplish your goals. Audience perspective. So the desire for exclusivity and VIP treatment. If I give a business my number, it's because I want to be aware of the best deals. So if someone texts me, you know what? I should go a little bit off cue here with interactive campaigns, right? So whenever you send out a text campaign, people see it, they click on a link, etc. But what if for your business you go, text, we're preparing for XYZ. If you text one back if your budget is donate $100. Text 2 if your budget is donate $500. Text 3 if your budget is $1,000. Text 4 if you have no budget, show me the value, right? And think about applying that to any type of business. If you're a retailer, if you are someone that is a connector, you want to connect people based off what level entrepreneur they are in. For book, I've seen authors, like we have a couple publishers where they'll send out different things like that for people to engage with their list, and it's organizing people based off who they are. And the better you know your list, the better you're able to cater to them, right? So this is tapping into the exclusivity and VIP treatment that many people would be very happy to receive those text messages from you because they're getting that, where in another channel, they may not have even seen that, right? Convenience and control. You can unsubscribe from emails, but somehow you still might get emails from them, right? With texting, since most people only have one phone number, and when you text stop, stop actually means stop, right? So the consumer has a lot more control over receiving text messages from you than they otherwise would with email. So we are finding a lot of contacts that are opting in to receive messages from a business or organization. They're becoming more and more receptible to it because of their control and ability to stop those messages whenever they want to. Trust and personalization. I tapped into that a little bit with the interactive text campaign. Again, there's tons of different use cases for different industries and what those look like. While I'm trying to keep it broad here so that everyone can, start to get the wheels spinning for their business. Building up the trust with this channel is huge, right? So keeping an eye on the opt-out rate. A lot of our clients, we keep indicators on for them to not exceed past 4%. So if you send out a campaign and all of a sudden this campaign is starting to drive up a lot of opt-outs, we'll pause the campaign for you to be able to see what happened and see if you truly want it to continue it to go, to keep running. So we have things in place to help marketers, not burn their list while working so hard to grow it. The fourth one is fear of missing out. When I think of this one, I think of time-sensitive offers. Even though this is our second webinar, I guess you can call this one, webinar 2.5, right, 2.5. I've only promoted the webinar one day before. And it's not because we are rushing or, last minute type of business. We're not actually. We just want to see how many people will show up with a less than 24-hour notice, heavily leaning towards texting. So we've had 19 people show up live on this one. Roughly 22 people asked for a recording. And in the first one, we had similar numbers. So I know based off my list that I'm able to bring roughly this amount of people to show up on a Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central to a webinar about texting, even though I met most of these people at business networking events or places where I spoke at, right? So this speaks to the power of texting, especially if you're an established business, you already established a great brand, and you're building your list. You'll probably see numbers a lot higher than what I've experienced so far while being new to driving people into a webinar for educational purposes. So the fear of missing out, take advantage of it. It really works. All right, the second one is we're going to break down between two categories on how to grow your SMS subscriber list. So there's going to be active strategies and passive strategies. With active strategies, there's three categories to that. There's the point of sale invitations, there's events and experiences, and then there's cross-channel integrations. So with point of sale, imagine you have a retail store and you have people coming in to make a purchase. They are at the counter engaged with your cashier, and the cashier has them, about to swipe their card for checkout, and they say, by the way, are you a part of our tech subscriber list? And that customer says, oh no, I'm not. Well, you can actually save 10% on your purchase today if you scan this QR code and opt into our receive special offers. We don't blast your phone a lot. We send out 2 messages a month. But if you want to save 10% on today's thing and potentially even better deals in the future, scan the QR code over here and we would greatly appreciate it. Them doing that active, interactive, almost like a sale, so to speak, that is what I call the point of sale or point of engagement invitation. I'm doing this every time I go out networking, right? So even though it's not a sale, even though it's to, what's the point of networking, right? If I'm not going to meet with people afterwards. So instead of sending them my calendar or sharing with them my social media and leaving it at that, I actually have them scan the QR code. It sends them a text message. They got my number, I got their number, and in the message that they're receiving a link to my calendar as well as my social media cards through our microsites on Chatavise. So if you've never seen a microsite, wait till the end because I'm going to show you our natively built microsites. Now, if you have a link tree, if you have a dot card, hi, hello, any one of those type of things already made, you would just grab the URL and include it in the automated text messages that we're sending out. And you can also accomplish almost the same thing, even though with ours, we're able to go a level deeper when it comes to analytics because we know the phone number that's interacting with the system. All right, try not to get too technical here. Events and experiences. For my event organizers, and I say event organizers on purpose, it does not mean you have to be an event planner and that is your business. You could very well be a real estate agent who has, two lunch workshops that you partner with the mortgage loan officer to have, many seminars or workshops to learn how to be a first-time home buyer or what things you need to be a first-time home buyer. Things that you need to invest in real estate. So as you're organizing these events, you can have people opt in while they're attending, while they're getting their ticket from Eventbrite, et cetera, not to get into too many strategies, but you can use events as a beautiful mechanism to build up your list fast. One of our smaller clients in terms of employee headcount has a bigger list has a 3 times bigger list than one of our biggest clients because from biggest clients from the volume side of things because of the active strategies that she implemented in this event and experience space. So active strategies have a way of growing your list fast and intentionally. The next pillar is cross-channel integrations. So when I think of this, I think of 3 main things. Email. I asked in the live webinar, what was the size of your email list that you had? And people were putting it in the comment section. And I even had some people come off mute to say the number. We had 5,700. We had as small as 75. We had one I think that had 15 or 16,000, and then one that had like 50,000. Those email lists is also an asset, right? Sending out those email campaigns, and in that email, somewhere in there, putting, if you don't want to miss any offers or very important announcements, text this keyword here, then you're able to now build up that list by riding or piggybacking off the channel that you've invested this whole time, right? So if it took you a couple years to build up your email list, you're able to tap into that channel to also build up your text list. So email is one of the cross-channel integrations. The second channel I would say is social media. Now you're seeing me do a lot more videos now, and I'm leveraging short reels as well as graphics graphic assets, asset graphics. Post it on all social medias, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X even, and there's another one in there I'm missing, LinkedIn. So I'm leveraging all these social media platforms to build up my list. And by me using that, it's not going to be as much as me going into an event where there's 200 people or me speaking on stage in front of 1,000 people. But this is a very intentional way that I was already going to do. And now I'm giving the audience that feels compelled to want to reach out or learn more about whatever that video was, they can text the keyword that I put at the end. And this is awesome too because it's cross channels. So it works the same on TikTok, on Facebook, on any one of them. They just have to text the keyword to the number that I'm giving them. The third one that comes to mind with this cross-channel integrations is old school. Let's think direct mail, right? I always like to tell people that what was old sometimes becomes new. And with direct mail, we see people, and I pulled this out. I'd ordered some shirts and I received this here. Now, this just takes me to their Amazon store and it's great, right? I'm able to make another purchase. They still didn't get my opt-in. They didn't get the ability to text me without having to rely on Amazon, right? They could have been building up their list this whole time. So if you have a business or you know people that have a business that are sending out mail, whether it's in the product itself or legitimately direct mail, they can have a QR code or a call to action to text the keyword. And as long as you're giving them an incentive or a reason to opt in, you can also build up your list that way. So there's tons of other ways, but those are the three I like to point out there because they probably apply to most people. I'll throw another one out there. We have a client that has a decal on their pickup truck. So they're a talent agency, and if you text the keyword to their phone number, you'll see it on you'll receive the thing, but you'll see it on the trucks that they drive around. So there's tons of ways to do it. Again, you know your business better than I do. I'm just giving you ideas to expand the aperture of how you can capture a lot of these a lot of people's phone numbers to be able to reach out to them with special offers. This is an example of an asset that we used and we created for this webinar, again, that happened yesterday. Tears in my face. Social media graphics, so putting the keyword QR code. POS interaction, like I stated earlier with the retail store. Check-in process if you're throwing events, conventions, seminars, you have a booth at an event. It's very active growth strategies, and those really do grow your list very fast. All right, passive growth tactics. So website landing pages and microsites. There's opportunities, right, with the traffic that you're getting to your website to build up the list. You set it up once, you don't have to think about it. Something that we also rolled out is our own pop-up box. So when someone visits your website or a certain page on your website, a box will come up where they can enter their phone number, email, their name, etc. And when they hit submit, they get opted in and they can automatically receive a text message. And on your end, you're able to see all the contacts that opted in that way. Another website one is with the web chat widget. While we have most people using a regular text message based web chat widget used by us, we also have an opt-in enabled one. So if your website's mostly used or your landing page is used for sales and conversion, and they might click on that text us button at the bottom right, why not make it opt-in enabled? Build up your list that way. So that way, long after the conversation is done, you're still able to send them a message knowing that they engaged you through that channel. The next one is review invite footers. So I'll share this one a little bit later because in the next slide I have a graphic for it from one of our clients, and we actually surprised them after about a year or so of having that sign up button. We were able to go, did you know you built up a list of this many people that subscribed while they were leaving you a Google review, they were able to sign up to receive promotions from you. So they went out of their way to do that, right? The clients. And we had a nice surprise when we showed them how many people subscribed. Receipts and order confirmations, right? Most people look at the receipt, they throw it away. Well, what if on every receipt there was a QR code that said discount, scan here on your next purchase, et cetera, et cetera. These little things that you implement, I like to say they're covering the surface area of all the ways clients are interacting with you. By plugging up those lead leaks, then you're able to build up your list in a passive way while you're sleeping. Loyalty program enrollment, checkout fields, account creations, email signatures, which I have a picture of my email signature, and I actually get people to opt into my text list from my email signature. And I'll show you what that looks like here in the next slide as well. And then this says coming soon, but we actually just rolled it out. In our surveys, it's mostly our larger enterprise clients that are using us for surveys, but they're open to anyone. But with the surveys, we had a business on the regular basis, fill out 2,000 surveys on a weekly basis. So when we were looking at those stats and we were kind of giving them a little quarterly update, we were like, we got to be able to tap into this to be able to build up that tech subscriber list. So now in our surveys, after they hit submit, there's a pop-up that comes up for that person that submitted the survey that they can opt in to receive text from them. That might be a complete like 50% plus game changer as far as growing their lists passively for something that they were already doing, implementing surveys in an automated fashion after every job. All right, these are the two examples. Review invite sign up button. Now, I took away a lot of the white space there, or Ira did, because it's on a phone screen, so it would have been too long for the PowerPoint. But at the bottom of the review invite, there's a little bit of verbiage, right, that says, want to receive updates or special promotions from, in this case, Stanley Steamer, sign me up. This button right here is responsible for 99% of the opt-ins that the locations are getting, all because at the end of every job, people are getting a chance to leave a Google review, and through that Google review or through that review invite, they're building up their list. Reviews, while that's not the topic of today's conversation, it's an example of how we can accomplish two things with one, right? Build up the reputation side for the business, so reputation management, which we have tons of tools on, and that's really what we did for the first 4 years of being in business, and made that strong pillar also a way to opt people in. If you look at Stanley Steamer Atlanta, you'll see that they just crossed 10,000 Google reviews. Mic drop. All right, example number 2, my email signature. I have there at the bottom, want a faster response? Click on this link, and the link just has email to text link. If they click on that link, it will open up their text message app with the key phrase in that message. They just hit send, they're opted in, and we're now texting. If you email me, I'll get back. The response rates are literally like, maybe 24 hours, 48 hours, and that's assuming that it's a normal, week. But if you text me, I get back to you 10 times faster, right? So everyone knows that interacts with me, that has a reason to email me one-on-one. They know if they really need to get a hold of me, it's texting, not emailing. Emailing tells me I'll get back to you when I free up. I want to mention a little bit about the compliance, because depending the industry you're in, you may need to have two-step consent. Also, depending what you're trying to accomplish with promotional texting, two-step consent may be required. So an example of that is in the online retail space. Let's say you have a Shopify store and you want to send a text message out to someone who abandoned their cart. You would need to have gotten two-step consent prior to hitting them up. So we have the ability to have both one-step consent and two-step consent. So just something we wanted to throw out there. As far as legal language is concerned, we have an example here that all our lead forms have. So you can see the verbiage there, and just make sure that you're covered, especially if you're collecting phone numbers this whole time and your plan is to import those contacts into Chatadvise or into another platform. You want to make sure that the numbers and contacts that you're importing in for promotional reasons have received that legal language before, because if not, texting comes with a severe penalty to text people that did not give you permission. So compliance is very important, so that way you stay out of trouble. All right. How to segment your subscribers. So there's 3 rules that I like to look at whenever I'm thinking of how I'm going to organize where contacts are coming from while building up my text list. The first one, and this is probably the one that is the most used. There's clients that are very, very granular with the organization. I tend to be more like that too. And then I have some whose volume is just so big, they just need one or two rules, and they're good to go, right? They don't need to get very granular, like knowing knowing where they met each contact at. For example, I do. I know every single event where I met that person at to scan my QR code. I like doing that because I can sort the inbox by that tag that represented that event, and then follow up with people one-on-one. So I like to text people one-on-one sometimes, depending what I'm trying to accomplish. But I'm also able to go these 3 events, context from these last 3 events, or from 3 events from 2 years ago. I'm able to find those contacts and send them a text message, and while excluding everyone else. So segmenting is very powerful. The first lens to look at is the source of opt-in. The second one would be the intention. An example of an intention would be, let's say you're a car dealer, car dealership. You have an online, inventory of the cars that you have on the lot. You have a button underneath the pictures that you took of the vehicle. And when people want to get more information on the vehicle, they click on a button and it opens up their text message app and says, want to receive more information on this car, hit send, and they hit send. You'll know that they were interested in that car. And then you, as the sales manager, you now know I have this many leads interested in this type of cars, and you're able to actively reach out to people. So that's an example of a car dealership using us. Hint, hint, I want a couple car dealerships in our portfolio. So auto body shops as well. Tag contacts by interest, product, or services. So I tapped into both there with the intention to buy versus being someone in the market for that type of vehicle, right? But interest, product, or services can also be separating contacts by the level of ticket that they buy if you're putting on an event. So tagging them according to VIP ticket versus general admission versus a speaker or a vendor, and being able to send out those text campaigns or automated series of messages based off who they are and what their interest is in. All right, so how to convert new subscribers into loyal customers. Something I was just thinking about. I was like, this felt so much more natural when I had people on the call, stop, ask them a question. What do you think about this? I know you have something. I saw the hand go up. But for now, I guess I'm talking one-on-one to you. That's what's going on in my mind. But how to convert new subscribers into loyal customers. So the first one is engage at scale via text campaigns using the tags. Right? So most people that came to the webinar, you came because I sent a large text message. You are a part of a text campaign, and all I did was divide it up by people that have physically met me in real life at one point or another versus the other 135 people that we've built over other channels that I did not meet. I never shook their hand. I don't really know who they are. So I had 605 people that opted in from the Ron's networking relationship, and then 135 that came from other channels. And those numbers is important because I said earlier, I've met 787 people. We were tagging people in the past, but we never had the marketing side to organize, who and opt them in. So when I go in to send out a text campaign for promotional reasons, which I consider this promotional reasons because the alternative is transactional. This is not a transaction. Therefore, in the eyes of the FCC, this is seen as promotional. So if this sounds completely new to you, it's more reason to sign up for the workshops, ask questions. I give a lot of information on this topic. Also, if you throw live events, I'll go anywhere to talk about texting. So please keep us in mind for those speaking opportunities as well. Second one is engagement at scale via automated workflows. So having a series of messages just waiting in the queue, and when someone does something to trigger that workflow, this is a huge way also to communicate with these subscribers. I'll share one way that I used this method for the workshops. When I sent the initial text campaign, I know I sent it, the day before the actual event. I know a lot of people weren't going to be able to show up. So I put in as a CTA in the text message, reply back recording to be put in the queue to receive the recording when it's available. So there's a certain amount of people, like I said, 22 people or so, that is waiting for that recording. They were able to be tagged automatically and sent a text message by them doing something. I didn't have to do anything manual after setting it up once. What does that look like for your business? The third way is individual follow-up via sorting the inbox using tags. Coming from the banking background, I do try to do a lot of things one-on-one when possible. So me sorting my inbox by people I know that's in the real estate industry, by people I know that's in the insurance industry, by people I know that own a tech company, by people I know that are B2B, etc. Salon, like all these different industries, I'm organizing contacts by that. Because I do it that way, I can sort my inbox and go, I just won a client in this industry. I want to see all the other people that I've met that's in that same industry, that has that same pain, has that same use case, and I can now reach out to them with their industry fresh in my mind. What's that worth to you, right? All right, live demonstration time. Okay, so let me toggle over to the system. Now, keep in mind, since we are recording this, I'm not going to show sensitive information such as names, phone numbers, emails of real contacts. So I'm only sticking to the pages to show how to create a keyword, how to grab the keyword URL and QR code, as well as the Instagram story. Unfortunately, after a story is 24 hours, it's gone. But I'll show a similar thing for it. So let me exit out of presentation mode real quick. All right. So this is the keyword I made during that workshop, but we'll make another one here. Actually, I'll work off of it. So if I wanted to create a new one, I would just click Add New. I can write the keyword or the phrase and then hit Save. And just like that, it's created. When it's created, it will take you to this screen here where you can edit the name of the keyword. So you don't have to make new keywords for every single thing that you want to do. If this keyword, the usefulness of it is done and over, you can go here to edit it. So you can delete it or edit it. It's totally up to you. So here, if I want to do, remake of workshop. So I'm just doing a phrase here and I hit save. Now when people text that phrase, they will get opted in. If I click on QR codes here, if I want to create a new QR code, I just click here, I label it, and if I want to create what is called a vanity slug, so if you ever used bit.ly or Teeny URL or anything like that, then you'll know, what a vanity slug is. But basically what it does is it changes the URL at the last part of it. So for example, I write something like this. If I want to create a vanity slug, I can. If not, I just hit save and it will create this right here. So here's the URL for that. So I can always copy this and send it to someone on Facebook Messenger, put it on a flyer, something like that, whatever I want to do with the URL. And then QR code that's here. So we're going to use this URL a little bit later, so I'm just going to keep it in my clipboard. With the QR code too, you can change the size of it, play with the color. We have plans to help you design this. We actually have the ability to turn the QR code into a circle, write words around it. That's in our short links section, where you can add short links to it. So kind of like a true bit.ly or a teeny URL. The difference between us and them is that we not only tell you how engaged that list, like that link or QR code is, we can tell you who engaged with it, when, how many times. Because again, we know the phone number that is interacting with those assets. All right. So the next thing here is creating a tag. So I created a tag the other day here. So if I want to create another one, I'm just gonna go. I like to put the dates to tags, and today's the 28th, and I'll put sample workshop. It's searching to see if that tag is available. If it was, I can select it, good to go. Since it's not available, I'm gonna hit this plus sign here. It creates it. and attaches it. So now when someone texts that keyword, they're being tagged with these two tags. And if I want to remove the old one, I just remove it like that, and we're good to go. The last part of this, so right now, if you did nothing else, you already are building up your opt-in list. You're already tagging the new contacts that are opting themselves in. Now the last part is, do you want to build a workflow for something to happen in an automated fashion? In this case, I wanted to send them a text message. So what I'm doing here, and with workflows, it's whole, it could be 3 workshops with workflows because you can build some pretty robust workflows, but we're going to keep this one very simple. So I already have a workflow attached here, but if I wanted to create a new one, I would type a name of the workflow, it would search for it just like tags, and then hit the plus sign, and it would create that workflow for you to edit. But we don't want to do that since I already created one. So what we're gonna do is we see this one is the one that's attached to it because it's turned on. If we click here, it will take you to the workflows page. And this is the workflow that we're working with. So we can rename the workflow here. We can write a description here. So if you have, someone that would be, in charge of this system, creating the stuff for you, depending the size of business you're in, then you can have someone do this, a VA, a marketing partner, operations director. Like for the bigger companies, almost each department has someone that is a Chattervice champion, if you will. And they know Chattervice sometimes better than me. So, all right, this is the description here. Next thing is designing it. So we're going to design this workflow. And here we can see that this phrase is triggering this workflow. So if someone texts that phrase or keyword, they are going to trigger this workflow. And here's the actions. So I'm going to delete this action here, like so. And now when someone texts that keyword, nothing happens. If I click add action number 1, this box comes up. I click change here. I can see what platforms are native on Chattervice. And of course, Zapier allows us to connect to like 9,000 applications. So for example, if you don't use Calendly, but you use Acuity, we can connect to it via Zapier. If you want everyone that's opting in to show up on an Excel sheet with their name, phone number, email, address, you're able to connect Chattervice to Google Sheets. And then that Google Sheet will be populating with the contacts that are scanning that QR code at that event. So tons of cool things. If someone fills out a form or a contact form on your website and they hit submit, that website, Wix, for example, can send us that information. We send the text message out to that contact, and you can make that text message say whatever you want, right? So again, we're not going to go too deep in there. It's just another reason to attend these workshops and play with the system. So we're going to choose Chattervice here, and we're going to look for the actions. So there's about 16 actions the last time I counted. But we're going to scroll down to send a text. We click on send a text. Here we can use the AI to prompt the message if we like. But I'm just going to keep this one simple. Hi. If we capture their name, we can address them by name. In this case, we wouldn't because we're using a keyword, not a lead form or a form of some kind that captures their name ahead of time. So this is really not necessary per se, but I'll put it on there. So if there is no name, it's just a blank spot. It'll just say hi, comma, and continue. I'll put here is the link here's the link to RSVP for the next workshop. Then I do Shift 3, we'll pull up this hashtag here. And if you don't remember that, we have the verbiage here, and you can even click on it and it'll open it up for you as well. So we're constantly trying to find ways to make it what I like to call silly proof, or SP for short when I'm trying to be respectful. Okay, when I go here, click on link, Now I can look for the short links that I have. I can search for the short link or whatnot. So if I want to do a workshop, for example, leave for workshop, register link for a workshop here, then it puts this here. So it'll generate a unique link for everyone that is texting that keyword. That's how we know that this contact engaged with that link versus other ones that maybe did or did not. So it creates a unique link for each person that's receiving it. We can attach an image to this text message if we like by clicking there. And then you can just choose an image. So for example, if I want to choose this one, the image will be there, and then I can click on finish action, and now I have created the first action of this workflow. There's other things that we can do with workflows, but again, we're just going to keep it nice and simple. So that's that part there. The next thing we want to show is the tags. So I'm just looking from January 2024 to August 28. This is where the 787 people that I've actually shooken their hands, they're here. If I was to click here, it would show the names and phone numbers in a list type view. I also like to tag people by the state. So if I go to DC, I go to Maryland, I go to California, Florida, Texas, anywhere, I want to know how many people I know in that state. And I like it because I might go to Wyoming where I know I have one contact in there and I'm able to go there. Let me see if I know how to spell Wyoming. There it is. And I have one contact there because I just met them. Yeah, there now I know I'm organizing it also by state. So again, doesn't matter what business you're in. If you're pulling out your phone sometimes to text people via iMessage or Android texting, there's a chance, and you're a business owner that's serious about growing your business. There's tools out there that is going to make your job easier versus using a consumer product. My hope is you see the value we're giving and that we become that tool for you. Last thing I'm going to show is the microsite. So make sure you're giving us a like and comments in there if you're liking the value that we're getting here. I know we're coming close to time. I'm known for going over, but I am working on it, I promise. But with microsites here, I'm going to show you one that is a microsite, more like a business card. So I know you see business cards here. We're going to change the name to microsites because some of our larger clients are starting to roll out this feature, and they're using it more like a landing page. And I'm going to show you what that might look like for you. So business card wise, this is what my business card looks like. So when someone scans my QR code, they receive this text message with this link here. They're able to go to my Instagram. They're able to go to my LinkedIn, Facebook, etc., my YouTube. They can register for workshops, go to the website. They can click on this button here, and they can start the account opening process. We just hit a couple milestones, so you're able to actually start texting day one when you open up your account with us versus waiting 5 to 7 days like you used to. We have courses that we're starting to launch, so you can actually go in there and take courses. My goal, the courses are free right now, but my goal in the future is to make mini courses for every industry that we service. So if you're a realtor, I'm going to make a course about all the ways you could use us from the strategic perspective and the implementation perspective. So we got a lot of content that's going to be coming our way. So again, we appreciate everyone that trusted us when we didn't have any of this. So beautiful time to join. Sign up to become an affiliate so you can learn about our affiliate program by clicking there and get your link regardless of whether you have an account or not. And we share 10%, 15%, and 20% depending how many people you're bringing in. Again, it's no cost and you don't need to be a client to be a part of our affiliate program. Book a video demo call is there, networking card is there, and then if we click here, it will take us to the business landing page that's here. So you're able to see what a business landing, a microsite would look like. Again, this would mostly be seen on the phone, which is why you see it look this way. And here you can see all these things would be what's applicable to the business. So, on the YouTube side of things, if you click there, it will take you to our YouTube page. Please make sure to subscribe for us. And we're at 8. We got one today I saw when I woke up, so I'm pretty excited about that. These shorts here are going to be all on different topics. I'm giving you 3 reasons, 3 ways to do this. I'm thinking about the 3 version series, and you can also see the workshops that we're putting on here. But we're investing a lot of effort and money to building these out. So look forward to your feedback on those videos. All right. Obviously, LinkedIn, Instagram, we have all that there. So if your business is using those things, don't just send them to your social media page. Grab the opt-in, tag them accordingly, send them to where you want to send them to. Look at it like almost like a little tollway that's free. But for you, it can be some serious money when you start to engage with them because you already have the permission to text them on their personal phone. So. All right, let's go back to the presentation. I think that's good for demonstrations. All right. So key things to take away is 1, identify all the opt-in opportunities that you have in your business, right? So again, we covered email, we covered storefront or inside the store, like the cashier. But how about the signs that you have in your window, right? How about the car that you're driving, right? How about the billboard that's on the highway? Think about all the surface areas, flyers that you're leaving in a public library. Your Zoom, like if you use a virtual background, you could have a QR code there or text 1, 2, or 3 to receive my PDF checklist, et cetera, right? Like think of all the surface areas that you have. Your business cards even can have a QR code on there, and in the back, text win to my number to get my 10 winning strategies PDF or online course or whatever, right? Think of all the strategies that all the ways people interact with you and make it opt-in enabled. Then the 2 other things is develop at least 1 active strategy, right? So we shared a ton of other examples. Hopefully those are very helpful in getting the wheels spinning. And then the other one is implement 2 passive strategies. We're all human. And if you're a small business, if you slow down, your business tends to slow down, right? And if you're a big business, you're a machine. So having these passive and active strategies is gonna blow your numbers through the roof, right? So these are 2 minimal expectation takeaways from doing this workshop. Again, write them down on paper, develop your plan, and when you're ready to execute, we're here for you. My last ask is, again, subscribe to our YouTube channels. Rob ran the first webinar that we did, and it was around SMS marketing campaigns. It was really geared towards beginners, so we're going to have another one where we're going to go a little bit more advanced. And then I did a reaction to that video. Again, we're all experimenting, so I had dinner right here in this office, and I reacted to Rob's presentation, and I also filled in some gaps that's so easy to miss when you're doing things live. Like I consider this live. I'm not cutting, clipping, nothing. I'm just gonna cut the beginning part when I was walking from behind the camera to here. But this is raw, so you're getting a raw live version of this. And people that know me know I like perfection, but I like speed. And if you look at those YouTube videos, you can see where we're going, where we're heading to with that. But this is the live, raw, uncut version of your boy talking. So, questions. We had a couple questions that was presented to us. I answered them throughout the course of this webinar just by naturally, being a little bit more thorough, doing a second run of it. But in this time, they also shared, from an integration standpoint, how hard is it to connect with Zapier, for example. It is very easy, and in our system, we have a video that shows you how to connect with Zapier. So if you go, and again, I'm just trying to avoid any place that might have sensitive information. So if you go to automations and click on integrations, you'll see Zapier here. When you clicked on connect, we made a video here that walks you through connecting those platforms. On Zapier's side, it's relatively easy to do it. This video will give you more than enough to be able to connect those 2 things. At the current size that we're at, we are able to meet with people and connect with them. Just booking time on the calendar can help get that done. So, we're here for you. So hop on it quick if that's something you're thinking about doing. Try and think of any other questions that we had. I think that was pretty much it. Oh, someone asked for free trials. So we got rid of our free trials for about a year period, and we loved it, to be honest. We noticed it brought more serious people in. Now we're implementing it again because we are starting to have clients open up their accounts without us even knowing who they are, right? They're coming from us, running ads. They're coming from our organic social media place. They're coming from our, cold email strategies. So they're coming from places that I may not have even met them. They may not have any, affinity towards me because they don't know me per se, right? But yeah, so the free trials are there. We give you half a month free trial, 14 days, right? So 14 days to give us a try. I always tell everyone, give us some grace. We are a small business. We're not going to be perfect, but we do care. That's something that, I can hang my hat on. And, but yeah. So with that said, hopefully this was very educational. Hopefully you had a lot of takeaways. Hopefully there was a lot of notes that you took or places that you want to go rewatch. And I look forward to seeing you have success on or off the platform. With that said, have a great rest of your day. Again, the next workshop will be 2 weeks from now. Text the word workshop to my number, 470-375-9088, or click the link in the description and we'll send you information on the next workshop for you to register. Until then, bye.